Look, Mom, no hands, and I'm taking a corner. It's got a mind of its own. Hey guys, it's Josh from the Hazelwood Auto Group, and this is Cars and Community, where we drive awesome cars and connect the community to cool places and fun events around town. We're driving the Chevy Silverado EV RST Max Range Edition today, and I've got a ton to say about it. But before we jump into this vehicle, let's get into today's adventure. Let's go. So we've talked about parks, we've talked about getting out for adventure, and today we're doing something that is really cool in the Pacific Northwest. We're actually kayaking, and I'm with my buddy Tom, and he's gonna tell us a little bit more about kayaking. Tell us a little bit about kayaking.
Well, I mean, this is Kitsap. We are surrounded by water. We've got these wonderful ponds and lakes throughout the county. So you have your fresh water, you have your salt water on the Sound, Hood Canal, which is a little more sheltered than the Sound if you like the saltwater thing but don't want to deal with the waves. But these kind of regional lakes are pretty amazing because you get great wildlife, great views. We got a beaver lodge right behind Josh over here. Amazing wildlife, and yeah, it's safe. The water's warm already.
Some things to consider, because these are your kayaks, these are your personal kayaks.
Yeah.
What does it cost to get into kayaking? If somebody wants to kayak and you know they're just now, maybe they just moved to the Pacific Northwest and they want to give it a go, what's it cost to get into something like this?
Well, to some degree it depends on what you want to use your kayak for, but getting into a fun kayak like this style, or this is probably a mid-range fun kayak, but you can get into the just goofing off kayaks for a couple $100. Like the cost of entry is very affordable. You want to get into like a more sporty kayak or one that's good for fishing, you're of course going to spend a bit more. But
now we're at a really cool park and a really cool lake called Buck Lake. Does it cost to show up to the lake, or do we need anything special?
It depends on the lake and if you're willing to carry your boat far. So here at Buck Lake, there's basically 2 points of access. One where we dropped in, they like you to have a Discover Pass to use the little boat launch. But you could also carry your kayak down to the, if you look across the lake here, there's a little swimming area, and you can just haul your kayak that way, park in the Buck Lake Park. But if you've got any bit of adventure in your bones and need to explore, it's wonderful. It's super zen just being on the water. You can just hang out and float in the sun in the great Northwest. Think of adventuring, right? Like if you're on a kayak, there's waterways, whether it's on the lakes or out in the Sound. Not only can you go discover things that you would never see from the shoreline, but you can do things like go under bridges, go explore areas that are not accessible by foot or by car. Other things you can get out of kayaking, you get your exercise. You don't get good looking shoulders by just sitting around as a couch potato, right? It's a way to exercise without thinking you're exercising.
My parents also have kayaks, and I've been out on the Puget Sound a lot in the kayak. There's so many opportunities for exploring down different waterways, like going under bridges and kind of seeing a perspective that you don't see, like Tom had said. It's just such a fun activity, a Pacific Northwest activity to do. So Tom, you said you had a little bit of a story about kayaking. Let's hear it.
All right, so one of my favorite kayaking experiences was over in Everett, so just across the Puget Sound from here. And they've got this little barrier island right at the port. And this island is seal nursery. And little did I know at the time that they were in the middle of breeding season. So we put the kayaks in. I was in this kayak here. Get out about maybe 20 meters into the water, and suddenly I'm surrounded by harbor seals. There's probably 30 harbor seals within 20 feet of the boat. And it was the coolest thing because they're just all these little puppy dog heads effectively sticking out of the water. Very friendly, very cool. It did occur to me that it would maybe be bad news if one tried to jump up on the front of the kayak to rest, but didn't happen, and instead it was just freaking amazing.
Yet another reason why to get out and just kind of explore the waterways. We have so many opportunities to explore the water here because we're surrounded by so much water. There's not that many places. Kitsap County is kind of unique because we are on a peninsula. We've got so many different cool spaces to get out and enjoy the Pacific Northwest. So it's been a really fun afternoon getting out and exploring and getting on the kayak, but we're gonna head in and explore the Silverado EV just a little bit more. You ready to head back, Tom?
Never, I love the water.
kayaking is such a fun activity to do around Kitsap County, with endless possibilities for getting out on the water and exploring. So if you're interested, go out and explore. Get on a kayak and check it out. Let us know, are you a kayaker? And if you are, where is your favorite spot to kayak? All right, so we have to address the very first thing about this truck that's phenomenal on the spec sheet. This is the Silverado EV RST Max Range Edition. Max range on this truck on a full charge is about 480 miles. In the electric industry, in the electric world, 480 miles is phenomenal. I mean, you can, from Kitsap County, you can drive to Eastern Washington on a single charge and be just fine. If you've got range anxiety, but you're interested in electric and you're interested in trying out electric and kind of dipping your toes into it, this is definitely a truck to consider because of the range. Silverado EV RST Max Range Edition. The range alone is a fantastic reason to get this truck, but there are many other features that I love about this truck. Speaking of features, my absolute favorite feature of this truck, it is by far the best thing that Silverado has done, is their Midgate. This makes the truck so extremely useful. In today's adventure, we went kayaking and we put the kayaks in the back. We dropped the Midgate down and the kayaks fit just with the slightest overhang on one kayak, but the other kayak, Tom's kayak, fit completely in the entire truck. You've got 14 feet just about from the front of the bed to the back of the bed when the Midgate is lowered down. I mean, think about going to the store and getting a 12-foot board. Instead of having to cut it or having it stick way out the back of your bed, you just drop the Midgate and you're fine. This, as far as EV trucks go, is at the very top of the list, purely because of the Midgate design that Chevy has done in the Silverado. It is a phenomenal feature to have. And as you guys saw today, extremely useful in multiple different cases. Let's talk about fit and finish. The fit and finish of this vehicle, it's beautiful. I like the lines on the interior. The dashboard is fantastic. It's got a beautiful giant touchscreen, similar to the Blazer that we drove. It does have a couple manual buttons for the air conditioning, but overall very sleek design. Being nitpicky, and this is really nitpicky on this one, but because the dashboard is white, there's a ton of reflection on the front windshield. Now my sight line right here does not have any type of reflection because it's all black for the heads-up display right here. So it's totally fine in that sense, but there are reflections on my passenger side front windshield. It's the smallest little gripe, and because I drive so many different cars, I notice these things. For the most part, fit and finish, the seats are phenomenal. They're comfortable, they're wide. I fit in them really well. This interior is massive. Plenty of room in the back seat when the Midgate's up and you've got your actual seats back there. There's tons of room. I mean, it's a massive truck. It's a massive cab. I don't feel like I'm towering over everyone. Not to mention, you can change the ride height on this vehicle, so I can lower it down to get in and out of, and then in off-road driving mode, I can raise it up several inches on that air suspension. But for the most part, when I'm driving this truck, I don't feel like I'm in this big old huge truck, but the interior and fit and finish, top notch. You can tell that it's quality. It feels like it's quality, and the screens are beautiful displays. Coming back to you in the conversation angle here, wanted to chat with you just about a couple more features on the Silverado EV RST Max Edition. Can we talk about the naming of vehicles? The names are getting longer and longer. It just seems like they're adding and adding and adding. Some pretty cool features. Pretty standard features across the board, similar to the Blazer that we drove last week. This one does not have any start button. So right when you get in, you put your foot on the brake, it recognizes the key and it starts the vehicle or turns on the vehicle. It's got the automatic drop down tailgate, which is super cool. You push a button up here on the front, the tailgate drops down automatically. It also has the automatic frunk button, which is super cool. That's a great feature. Push the button, your trunk or your frunk opens up as well. Going over drive modes, you've got a couple different drive modes. You've got normal, off-road, and tow and haul, and then you have a my mode as well, and you can change everything from the steering, the suspension, the acceleration feel, the motor sounds, and the different options that they have are going to be tour, normal, and sport. It does have a launch control. If we don't try it out today, be sure to come down and take this thing out for a test drive. And with that being said, if you're in the market for a vehicle like this one, we have a ton of different vehicles to choose from. We have 9 dealerships, 13 different brands, all in one location. So if you're looking for a vehicle and you want to test drive multiple vehicles all at the same time and kind of do a compare and contrast, be sure to take a look at the website, westhillsautoplex.com. And if you want to test drive this Silverado EV ... be sure to take a look at Hazelwood Chevy GMC, because that's where you're going to find this one. That's where you're going to go to test drive it. You know, I really like what Chevy's doing with their cars right now. There's so many features packed into these vehicles that it really enhances the driving, but it's not in your face. It's not overbearing and overpowering when you're just trying to drive to and from work. The nice thing that I like about Chevy's stuff is that their features are there, but they're not blah, you know. I'm not a fan of that. I drive so many different vehicles, especially electric vehicles, and a lot of times the features are just kind of like shoved down your throat, and there's just so much going on that it's almost difficult to drive and it's a little overwhelming. But Chevy does it differently. A lot of their features you can turn on and turn off. You can kind of tailor your vehicle to how you want to drive. And I especially like that about the Silverado EV. You guys already know the Midgate is my absolute favorite feature of this truck. It makes it, it completes it. It's a phenomenal feature. One of the features, I think it's been around for a little while, I'm not quite sure, but one of the features that I've been using today a couple times is Chevy's Super Cruise. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, I'm just gonna show you. Watch this. You push this button right here, and you let go of the handles, and you take your foot off the brake and you sit back and let the car drive for you. And this auto driving feature never gets old. Now, it does take a little bit of trust. You know, I'm still paying attention, which is also another feature on this. You have to be paying attention to the road, otherwise it'll shut down. I've already tested it. If I look away for too long, it'll say beep, 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 turning Super Cruise off, and then it'll shut the Super Cruise down and not allow you to drive. So you do have to pay attention during these automatic features, but I'm in traffic right now driving, and my foot's completely off the pedals. My hands are completely off the steering wheel, and I'm going down the freeway at 60 miles an hour, and it's doing everything for me. There's people changing lanes in and out right now. It's adjusting its speed. It'll change lanes for me as well. Chevy's Super Cruise, man, if you got a long commute, just sit back like this, push the button, and just go. Yeah, that's nice. This is a great feature to have, especially if you've got that long commute on the freeway. We're just chilling, driving down the road. Or, I mean, at this point, are we even driving? Or are we just riding? I love this feature. I think it's a great feature to have. I think autonomous driving is super cool technology. But I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts on autonomous driving? Watch this corner right here. We're doing a big corner, still on the freeway. I've got cars passing me on the side. It's making multiple calculations. Levels right back out. This is such cool technology. You guys have to test drive these cars. We have so many different cool vehicles that you have to come and check out. If you're in the market for a vehicle, like I said before, stop by the West Hills Autoplex, go to westhillsautoplex.com and come and test drive. If you're in an older car, we have a trade-up program as well. The cars these days are just so cool and they're so fun to drive. That's about all I gotta say about the Chevy Silverado EV RST Max Range Edition. Stuck in traffic, literally 5 o'clock, it's now 5:45, 5 o'clock traffic in Bremerton. If you know, you know. Let's recap today. Kayaking in the Pacific Northwest is a fantastic activity to do outdoors with your family and friends. There are so many different lakes and the Puget Sound. What a great opportunity to get outdoors and explore the water. This Chevy Silverado RST EV, wait, hold on. Chevy EV, the Silverado that we're driving today is packed with features that enhance the drive and make it that much better. The Midgate is 100% the best part about this truck, and it is a really cool feature. Like I said earlier, if you want to see this vehicle in person and take it out for a test drive, be sure to stop by Hazelwood Chevy GMC. And until the next one, we'll see you soon.